The Steelers just finessed the NFL. This is a heist for the Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have picked up a quarterback in the 6th round of the NFL draft out of Ohio State that could change their franchise. My name is Peyton Kleppe, and on today's episode of Steelers Digest, we'll be breaking down the latest Pittsburgh Steelers reports and rumors surrounding our Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we get into the news, just click that subscribe button down below if you guys have not already. Only 9% of our current viewers are not currently subscribed. So if you click that subscribe button, we will get you guys the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news every single day. Let's get right into it. We got a ton to talk about. Like I said before, the Pittsburgh Steelers have picked up quarterback in the draft and Will Howard. They pick him up out of Ohio State, and this is a great pick. This is a steal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, this draft was very unpredictable. A lot of different guys did drop in the draft, but I think in every single round, we got a position of need, and we pretty much got a player we all wanted. You know, in the first round, we got Derek Harmon out of Oregon. Second round, we got Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. Third round, you know, we've addressed a ton of different needs throughout this draft. In the third round, we got Caleb Johnson. I was about to say, because I was like, didn't make sense. But yeah, third round, we got Caleb Johnson, and we get Jack Sawyer in the 5th, and as well as Will Howard in the 6th, you know. And I'm very happy about this pickup. The Pittsburgh Steelers have finally added quarterback to the quarterback room, and this is a pick that I think was worth waiting for, you know. We've been waiting on Aaron Rodgers this whole offseason, and he just seems he can't make up his mind. But obviously, we brought in Mason Rudolph, we brought in Skylar Thompson, some rotational guys. Obviously, some guys that could be bridge quarterbacks for us as we get into the next stage of Tomlin's coaching career, as he is coaching Will Howard out of Ohio State. You know, this guy is coming off of a national championship win, and he's also getting his teammate in Jack Sawyer, who is a defensive end that came out of Ohio State, who's also a dog. I'm super excited we got him. You know, he's going to really solidify our defense and only add some more depth to that outside linebacker, edge rusher position. You know, I do not know whether the Pittsburgh Steelers will play him on that defensive line or at the outside linebacker position. You know, he's a versatile guy, and I'm just excited to see where they put him. You know, he's coming off of a 9-sack season, so obviously bringing some depth behind Herbig and TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. So it's always good to add a defensive player. The Steelers always draft a few guys in the defense in each draft, so it was exciting to see. But Will Howard, you know, this guy is coming out of Ohio State, and he's from PA. You know, he's a Westchester, Pennsylvania dude. You know, he's 6'4", 235. He's a big quarterback, around Mason Rudolph size. And, you know, especially after last year where we had Russell Wilson at quarterback, who's, 6 foot on a good day. It's really, really refreshing to finally get a big quarterback and a guy with a ton of potential who, with the right coaching and sitting behind a veteran guy like Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers, but we'll get into that a little later. If this guy sits behind them for a few years, I'd see him developing into a starter in the future. But if not, you know, this guy will still add some depth and, you know, possibly be a good backup for years to come, if not the starter. But some news on Aaron Rodgers. So possibly he will be signing with Pittsburgh. You know, this has been something that I've said time and time again, but there's been some positive talks between the team and Aaron Rodgers. And I think once Aaron clears up all his internal battles with his inner circle, hopefully very soon, I believe he will sign a contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers and agree to terms and come on in, if we do get Aaron Rodgers and Will Howard, this whole offseason will definitely be worth the wait, definitely be worth all the anxiety, I guess you could say, because, you know, we've not had a starting quarterback for a few months now after Justin Fields and Russell Wilson did sign with both New York teams in the offseason as free agency started. You know, Aaron Rodgers was a storyline that we just kind of had our eyes on, but at this point, most Steelers fans don't even really want Aaron Rodgers. He's been playing a ton of games, not even being clear, you know, really just pushing us around, kind of bullying us and just leaving his options open with the Minnesota Vikings. But obviously, the Minnesota Vikings did trade for Sam Howell Coming out of Seattle, they will get a backup in Sam Howell. Obviously, they will probably roll with J.J. McCarthy at the starter position, give him a chance to try to be an NFL starting quarterback. And, I'm excited for him. I like J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. So the Vikings kind of have their thing set in stone. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are really Aaron Rodgers' only option, probably his best option the whole time. Minnesota's great, but I just think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a better team to play for, better coaching. Nothing on Kevin McConnell, but I just like Coach Tomlin and Arthur Smith much better than what they got in Minnesota. Also, no ill will to Brian Flores. Shout out, former Steelers coach. He was a beast with us. I don't know if he's still in Minnesota, actually. I thought he is. I think he's their defensive coordinator. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, his only real option is the Pittsburgh Steelers, is to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And hopefully he could teach Will Howard a few different things because, like I said, Will Howard is a local guy, Pennsylvania dude. He's a big quarterback. He's coming off a national championship win with Ohio State. And with the right coaching, I really think we can develop this guy. Big Ben even said Will Howard is a guy that he really likes out of Ohio State. Obviously hearing that praise from a quarterback like Big Ben, that is a lot of praise, and especially Big Ben. He's very critical of his guys. Obviously, we know in the past he's had his different instances of calling dudes out, like James Washington, Antonio Brown, Juju, Martavis, all those guys. He would always call them out. So coming from Big Ben, it's definitely positive, definitely great hearing from Steelers legend like Big Ben. But I like Will Howard. He played very well throughout his college career. He's still young. I believe he's only 22. So he will only be around 25, 26 at the end of his rookie deal. And hopefully by then we'll have him developed, and hopefully he'll be our starter long term. But if not, this pick is a very safe pick. We got him in the 6th round. Obviously, the quarterbacks dropped after guys like Shadur Sanders kind of plummeted, and then Jalen Milroe went in the 3rd or 4th. Tyler Show went in the 2nd, but a lot of guys definitely dropped in the draft. Quinn Ewers was one of the last couple picks for the Miami Dolphins. And Will Howard is a guy that's coming into Pittsburgh. Definitely a later pick, but I think he's definitely got something to prove, coming out of Pittsburgh, coming out of Pennsylvania, coming out of Ohio, he definitely wants to put on for his local team, put on for his family. So I think this guy is definitely going to be motivated, and Steelers coaches, Steelers players, they're all going to want to help this guy grow, help him develop into our next starting guy. We've really had different quarterbacks these past couple years. It's kind of been a little quarterback purgatory for us after Big Ben. Obviously, we tried the Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky experience that did not work out too well. And obviously, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson experience. That didn't work out too well. And now we got Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson. And I do expect Aaron Rodgers to be signing with us in the next couple weeks, in the next couple months, hopefully. Obviously, the Steelers have started their offseason program, so they definitely want to bring him in before they start really anything major. So keep your eyes out. And if Aaron Rodgers does sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers soon, I will get a video, guys, out to you guys as soon as I can. Anyways, if you guys have not clicked that subscribe button, click that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. That is all I have for you guys tonight on Steelers Digest. Peace. Here we go, Steelers.